Section 11-6, Part 3. Justifying that triangles are similar. Can you conclude that the triangles are similar? Justify your reasoning. In order for us to prove that these two triangles are similar, we must know that two angles of this triangle are congruent to two angles of this triangle. So first of all, we must determine the measures of the angles of each triangle. So I'm going to start with this triangle. I'm going to label this triangle number 1. Well, I know that all three of these angles add up to 180. I've been given algebraic expressions, just like the last example. So I'm going to take the first angle, 2x plus 8. I'm going to add it to the second angle, 3x plus 5. And add it to the third angle, 5x minus 3. And I'm going to set it equal to 180 because I know that all three of these angles add up to 180. So in order for me to find x, I must add all three of these angles together, set it equal to 180, and solve for x. Let's combine x's. Remember, here's your equal sign, so let's combine on the left side. 2x plus 3x is 5x plus 5x gives you 10x. Now let's combine my constants. 8 plus 5 is 13, and 13 minus 3 is 10. So 8 plus 5 was 13, minus my 3 is 10, equals to 180. Continue solving. Subtract 10 from both sides. The 10's cancel. I end up with 10x is equal to 170. Divide both sides by 10. Dividing both sides by 10, x equals to 17. So I know the measure of x, or the value of x, the value of x is 17. To go back and find the measure of angle, the one that's measured 2x plus 8, I must plug in 2 times 17 plus 8. 2 times 17 is 34, and 34 plus 8 gives me 42 degrees. That was the measure of this angle. The measure of this angle, 3x plus 5. That is plugging in x is 17. 3 times 17 plus 5. Well, 3 times 17 is 51 plus 5 equals to 56 degrees. Now let's take the last expression representing the other angle of the triangle. Of the first one, 5x minus 3 is equal to 5 times 17 minus 3. 5 times 17 is 85. Minus 3 gives you 82 degrees. So here's my three angles of triangle 1. Now we must find the measure of the angles of triangle 2. So let's go back to triangle 2. This is triangle 2. Again, we were given all three angle measures in algebraic expressions. So I must add all three of these together and set them equal to 180. We know that all three angles inside the triangle add up to 180. So let's combine like terms. 11y plus 6y is 17y. Plus 8y gives me 25y. Plus my constant 5 equals to 180. Subtracting 5 from both sides. I have 25y equals to 175. Last, divide both sides by 25, and y equals to 7. Now I must substitute y back into the algebraic expressions given for each angle in the triangle. So I will substitute in 11 times y is 7 plus 5. Well, 11 times 7 is 77 plus 5 gives me an angle measure of 82 degrees. One of the angles was 6y. That's 6 times 7. Substituting in 7 in for y is 42 degrees. And the last angle was 8y. Substituting in 7 in for y is 8 times 7 gives you 56 degrees. So here are the measures of each triangle. I have an 82, a 42, and a 56 for the second triangle. This is my second triangle. And these are the measures of the angles of my first triangle of 42, 56, and 82. Are two angles of this triangle congruent to two angles of this one? Well, I have a 42 and a 42. I have a 56 and a 56. So yes, two angles of this triangle are congruent to two angles of this triangle. So can we conclude that these two triangles are similar? Yes, these triangles are similar because two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of the other triangle. Two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of the other triangle. So yes, these triangles are similar.